What stands? What's the series that stands out in your mind in the Ashes series you played in? It sounds like maybe one in England, but what stands out for you? What's the pinnacle?
I think of back in the days watching Ian Botham, come out and take on the Aussies, watching Rod Marsh and Danasili with their combination, Court Marsh bowl Lily. Used to love seeing that. Tomo firing in and scaring the tripe out of some of the Poms batting. But for me personally, the one that always gets mentioned, and I'd get stopped in the street 10 times a week, I reckon. They'd say, that Ashes 05 series where England won, they beat us. That to me was still I reckon it's definitely number one series I've ever played in. And even though that we lost, and even though that we didn't get the result that we went over to England for, it was the best series to be part of because of the way it was played. And you think back to Kevin Peterson made his debut in that series, and he went on to play over 100 tests for England. Andrew Flintoff was bowling rockets, hitting bombs. You had Matthew Hoggar, you had Simon Jones, you had far out this and Michael Vaughan, who's part of our commentary team as well. He's like a ripping bloke. It was almost like the whole world was watching this Ashes series. And the more England got ahead and crept ahead, the bigger the crowds got, the bigger the hype got. They reckon bat sales went up 66% over in the UK, which is great. So that's helping young kids come through and play sport. But mate, it was the best series in that game where we lost by 2 runs. And Andrew Flintoff consoled me at the crease, and now that sort of image has been used in the Spirit of Cricket Award, which I'm so proud to be a part of, me and Freddie. 3 minutes after the game had finished, and I had a broken hand from Roy Harmison got me at Lords the week before. I was black and blue from where I got pinned from Andrew Flintoff. But 3 minutes after the game, arm in arm, him and I having a cold beer together, chatting about the game that we love and stirring each other up. That's what the public don't see, and that's the stuff that is so amazing. And you cherish those moments. I don't miss playing cricket, but I miss those moments of sharing a cold beer or a glass of water with your teammates and just talking about what happened for the last sort of 5 days playing cricket out there.
So that was Edgbaston, I think.
Edgbaston. Yep.
So can you just take us through the final part of it? Like, can you take us through what it's like out there, knowing what you had to make, being out in the middle, and then how it ended? Can you just give us a bit of context, people listening on, to how that all fits and then how it finishes with Flintoff and you sort of arm in arm having a beer afterwards?
I'll set the scene very early. So we lob in. It's the last day, I think it might have been the 4th day or the last day of the test, 4th, 5th, whichever it was. It was going to be finished on this particular date. And as we're driving the team bus, we're lobbing in, we're reading the paper, and there's a massive line of English fans all lined up to watch Australia get beat. We were 8 down, and we need 107 runs to win. And pretty much the press have written us off. England are going to win. What a fight back. McGrath rolled his ankle. Casper had come in. Warney's out there batting. So it's me and Warney overnight out there batting, and 107 runs to win. So we get in, and I'm at the nets, and I'm having a throwdown, and Big John Buchanan, who was our coach, the bloke's called Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. He's throwing me balls, and I could not hit the ball for a throwdown. I've got guys like Mardo and Michael Clark at the back of the net going, oh, this is not going to take long. What's going on? And I literally had the shits because I'm thinking, I'm going to go out there and try and save or win this game for Australia. These guys are taking the mickey out of me. So I started trying to slog a few to try and clear them out, to move them. And all of a sudden I started to be on the middle. And, I see them all laughing. I'm like, guys, I'm in this position because you guys couldn't get the runs. So don't have a crack at us batting at the lower end. We call ourselves the all-rounders because we have to do both jobs, right? But we always muck around.
That's correct. That's correct.
So I went out there, me and Warney, and the Barmy Army were in full song. They're having the time of their life. And we look up 107 runs to win. Okay. And Warney said, mate, let's have some fun. And that was a great thing about the great SK Warne, was like, he was such a great athlete, such a great way that he could develop things in his mind to change the outcome of this game of cricket. It was so switched on. And the public never saw that. No one saw how much research he knew and how many times he knew how he got a batter out to how many balls he bowled and why he bowled it. And he goes, mate, let's have some fun. So we look up 107 runs to win, Barmy Armour in full cry. It's the first session of the morning, sun's out, perfect day in Edgbaston, which sounds like an oxymoron because it didn't happen that often. And we get down under the 100, we get down to the 80s and we're playing a few shots and we're going, this is going all right. This is going pretty good. And then we get down to less than 50 and all of a sudden you hear this tempo change. And we had one very small supporters group called the Fanatics, or the late Andrew Solomons would call them the Fantastics. He missed the spelling of the Fanatics and the Fanatics. And unfortunately, Shane Warne steps back and he steps on his pegs. He gets out, hit wicket. So I'm like, oh no. So then I think there was 40 odd runs to get. Casper comes in. And I just said to him, mate, let's also have some fun. But I said, one thing, they're going to try and knock our pegs over. I said, watch the ball like a hawk. So then I start becoming, so Warney was the mentor in that partnership. And then Casper comes out. And for me, it was like, now I'm going to take over this mentor role and help him through. Because when you come in, you're a bit anxious, you're a bit nervous, and you don't want to stuff it up for your team. And I just said, mate, I just kept saying this phrase, watch the ball like a hawk. And we get through and we get down to 20 runs to win and the Barmy Army starts to sort of lose all of their energy. And then the Fanatics, you start to hear them for the first time and they're at deep third man sort of region. I said to Casper, have a listen to that. I said, I reckon we've got these guys. You sort of look around and Michael Vaughan's there and he's got his hat on. He's like, oh no, we stuffed this up again. England, we can't lose this. So then it became a negative England and a positive Australia. Get down to less than 10 runs to win. And I think it was Harmison bowled a ball to Casper and he went bang over third man. And Simon Jones ran and dropped the ball. And I said, this is our moment. We've got them. Watch the ball like a hawk. Keep going. We've got these guys. Keep grinding them. And then with, I think it was 3 runs to win, I get a ball outside off stump. And I've absolutely hit this ball, probably the cleanest shot I've ever hit in my life, out to deep point. A metre either side of the fieldsman, it was 4, game over. We would not be having this conversation. I believe not only would we have won that test, we would have gone on to win 5-0. The Ashes would have been ours. It was that moment in time where it just needed to go with the side. I get off strike, 2 runs to win. Harmison's bowling the ball. I'm obviously around the wicket next to Billy Bowden, the umpire. I've got the best seat in the house, mate. He's bowled this bouncer and it's come off the glove of Michael Kasperwitz. Now, if you look at the footage, and for those cricket nuffies or purists out there, his hand's off the bat. So technically, if there was DRS, he would have been given not out. In my opinion, he was definitely out. You've got to give that out. Billy Bowden with his crooked finger said, yep, you're gone. Jones behind the stumps takes a beautiful catch. England starts celebrating. Aussies lose by 2 runs. And I'm, once again, the second time in my life where I'm quite emotional and like, far out, we've got so close. Not annoyed at Casper because Casper played out of his skin. He absolutely had the most amazing partnership and just his mindset to get through it. I'm down with my cricket bat like this. Andrew Flintoff comes over and says, you lucky little bugger. A few choice words, which I won't say, mate, but I can't remember what he said, but it was something like, you almost got us. I'll see you inside for a cold beer. And that was the moment. And it just happened so quickly. England are going off. Freddie's, there's that moment where Freddie goes and lifts up Michael Vaughan and Vaughan's grabbing him by the ears and saying, mate, you bowled us to victory. Harmison was brilliant. And these guys, mate, I'm 6'1". I was 89 kilos. These guys are like 6'5", 6'6". And they're like bowling 90 mile an hour. They're bowling gas. And we're trying to fend for ourselves. Scary moment. An amazing game of Test cricket. And the press the next few days was incredible. And that was like, the series was alive. But yeah, and then Andrew Flintoff came in where I'd been hitting the ribs and I'd missed the rib pad and my arm was bruised and I've got both hands in ice and my ribs all iced up. He's coming with a cold beer. Said, hey, mate, how's the ribs going? He's taking me the ribs. And I'm like, mate, well bowled, you lucky bastard, and blah, blah, blah.
That was just a little teaser of our full episode. They're out Wednesdays on YouTube, and you can listen to them wherever you get your podcast. Go on, get out of here.